Hey, hi, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Casey, and I like to talk about fitness and beauty and a few things in between. So if that sounds like something you're into, hit that subscribe button and keep on watching. So today I'm going to teach you how I make whipped overnight oats. It's something that I have concocted and perfected over the past few years. Overnight oats were all the rage a number of years ago, and they're still my absolute favorite. I have them for breakfast every single morning. So the key to overnight oats is, of course, to make them the night before so that they can soak overnight, and then the next morning you've got this big bowl of fluffy, gooey oatmeal. So for me, the ooier and the gooier, the better. And this recipe that I've concocted makes them super fluffy. And it adds a bit of volume to the oatmeal, which you will see as I make it. It fluffs up, it whips up. In the morning you'll have whipped overnight oats, of course, and then every morning I always add some yogurt, and I do add some Halo Top ice cream. I mean, you don't have to do the Halo Top. Sounds terrible, I know. It's just like my treat, and I have no shame about it. So that's how I have my whipped overnight oats. I do sometimes just do the yogurt, but let's be real, most of the time I do add the little bit of ice cream. But they're good alone. They're good with, if you want to add some yogurt. They're good if you want to add some fruit to it. Whatever you want, that is how I prepare my oats the next day. So the things that you will need for this are your oatmeal, of course, and then you will need chia seeds. I usually do half to 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. You will need a bowl to put your oats in. I have this fancy glass Tupperware bowl with a lid for convenience. You will need a measuring spoon if you want, or you can just eyeball it. I have made it so many times now that I'm able to just eyeball it, but for this recipe I will guide you using exact measurements. You'll need your very important whipping tool, a fork, very important. And then, of course, water. You can also use milk. I always just use water. For one, I have a dairy intolerance, and two, it's just easier. So, as long as you have all the ingredients, let's get into making the oatmeal. Alright, well, I'm going to start with my bowl here, and I am going to add 1/2 cup of dry oats. You can use quick oats or rolled oats, whichever you prefer. I personally prefer quick oats. One key to this recipe is to cook the oats, which is not something you normally do for typical overnight oats, but this is going to add to creating the texture and the volume that is key for making whipped overnight oats. So you just want to add enough water to cook the oats as you normally would. So I'm going to pop these in the microwave for 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I will be right back. Alright, so I have my bowl of cooked oatmeal, and now I'm going to start by just mixing it up, fluffing it up a bit with my fork. And I'm going to add my chia seeds. I added 1 tablespoon of chia seeds here to my oatmeal, and now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water. And now I'm going to mix it all together. As you can see, we have a thick oatmeal consistency yet again, so I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of water. The key with the fork is to somewhat mix it with a whipping motion. As you can see, it's thickening up, but it's still not quite to the consistency that I'm looking for. So I think in the end we end up adding 3/4 cup of water, because I'm going to add 1 more round of water. I find that adding a little bit more water, it's going to thicken it, but also add volume to your oatmeal, which I am all about. So I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of water. You see how it's getting thicker? Almost like a batter consistency. That's what we're after. I recommend whipping it longer than you think you have to. Like, it's well mixed now. That would be, it looks like it's done, but I'm going to continue to whip it for maybe another minute or so. Alright, I think that is about good. So I'm going to now let this sit out on the counter until it's cool, maybe about 30 minutes, and I'm going to come back and it's going to have hardened and thickened a little bit, so I'm going to whip it one last time and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge. And that is how you make whipped overnight oats. For added protein, I suppose you could add some protein powder, though I've never done that, so I don't know how that would change the consistency. I'm sure it would be fine. You might have to add more water, of course. I personally don't like adding protein powder to my oatmeal. I don't like the texture that it creates. I don't really like the flavor that it creates. I find that it's almost like a sickening fake protein powder flavor that I'm over it. I've tried so many different protein powder recipes that I think I'm really just over that protein powder flavor. So, but with that, I think that's all that I have to show you for making whipped overnight oats. Alright, and to wrap up the video, I have my whipped overnight oats here. They are still cooling, so I'm going to leave them here on the counter for a while before I pop them in the fridge. As I said, you do need to make this the day before. I usually make it in the morning while I'm cleaning up the house and just preparing for the day. However, I have made this the night before, right before going to bed, and it still turns out just fine. It just needs a few hours in the fridge to set and to thicken a bit. And then in the morning, I give it one last stir, and as I said, I mix in some yogurt and some ice cream, which you don't have to do, but I recommend trying it at least once. So anyway, this breakfast is great because not only is it
delicious,
but it is high in complex carbs from the oatmeal, and the chia seeds add a dose of healthy fats, which are good for your brain, and it's going to keep you energized and it's going to keep you full. So with that, that is all that I have for you today. Please comment down below if you try this recipe, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye!
fuck.